Liberia National Student Union. It's a pleasing pleasure, honor, and privilege at this moment to represent millions of students across the geopolitical landscape of our republic. It is a fact that data, not only data, but quality data, is a roadmap for any developer initiative in our country. So the National Student Movement at this point in time, we are very pleased to be here today, and also want to use the time to appreciate the government of Liberia and all other international and local partners in making this day a success. I'm very much cognizant of the fact that census is to be conducted after every 10 years. Since 2008, it should have been in 2018. But because of the many challenges, today we have reached 12 years. In 2021, it will be 13 years since the last conduct. And so at this moment, we want to say again a very big thanks to the government of Liberia and all other institutions that making us to be here today and making the 2021 census to be a success. Lastly, I want to say that we hope that our students can be part of the process, not only to make remark here today, but many of our students can be recruited to carry on the exercise. Because in 2012, I was part of the team that conducted the last Liberia Demographic and Health Survey, where I was assigned in 3 different counties, Maryland, Nimba, and McGibby. With my experience, I'm very much sure how tedious it will be. We work for days to reach places like B and Dewey District, where you barely find food to eat. And so quality data is very important. And so the National Student Movement endorses this endeavor, and we hope that we can play a meaningful role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the voice of the Liberian National Student Union. At this time, we'll call up the president of the Federation of Liberian Youths, representing the young people all across this country. I see Honorable Amos Williams coming forward. He also, Fly also serves on the board of directors for Listrus. So you can see that our board composition is all incorporating. It's got the youth representative, it's got the student representative as well. Welcome, Honorable Williams.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, Dr. George WEAH, President of the Republic of Liberia, all cabinet ministers here present, permit me to do a special recognition to 2 of my dynamic bosses, the President of the University of Liberia, who is a board member and chair of the board, the Federation of Liberian Youth, Dr. Nelson. Permit me to also recognize this minister that has demonstrated unhindering access of young people to him and has given me an understanding about what it is to be in public service. Minister T. Zuka Wilson. Thank you, Minister. At this point in time, I have come to call on the young people to cooperate with this exercise, to support it, not just to support it, but to get involved not just to get involved, but to volunteer. Not just to volunteer, but to engage. Not just to engage, but to support it in a way that at the end of the day, we will tell a Liberian story. And that story should be told by us, the young people. And this was an exercise we went to, we supported it, we volunteered, and we engaged. At the same time, ask the young people to engage in the awareness aspect. Because in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish, we need to be informed. And to be informed, we must engage our young people, not with the mindset that we've come into the process to argue, but we've come into the process to disseminate the information. It is our time that as young people, this is an opportunity for us to tell the Liberian youth story. And this census could be used to tell them how productive, how cooperative, and how supportive we are as young people. In closing, I want to thank the development partners. And I was reading a report this morning on the exercise. In this special manner, I'd like to thank the Swedish government for their support, not just to the census, but Sweden has convinced me that she's moving with action and words. Madam Ambassador, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Honorable Williams, for those remarks. Fact number 4, the National Population and Housing Census, and when I said it's the biggest national undertaking, it is also the single largest employer. That particular project, in a period of 2 weeks, especially during the enumeration phase, should employ well over 12,000 persons across the length and breadth of this country. And that's during the actual counting exercise. At this time, we would call up the president of the University of Liberia, and he will speak on behalf of all of the universities. I beg your pardon. I'm calling up the nation's #1 university, Dr. Saulo Nelson, president of the University of Liberia.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manuel WEAH, our partners, distinguished ministers of our government, diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy today to celebrate the fact that Liberia is getting ready for the next census. Mr. President, Mr. Minister of Finance, and Chairman of the Board, we want to express our gratitude for getting us thus far and preparing that the people of Liberia, in partnership with all our partners, can prepare ourselves for the next national census. We at the university and all the institutions of higher learning look forward to active participation in this particular process, especially so as the technical arm of leaders in analyzing the data that will be produced so that we can share a new page in the development of the Republic of Liberia using specific adequate data to ensure that Liberia become a place for all of us, because in union strong, success is sure. Good luck, congratulations, and look forward to our national census 2021.
Thank you. Powerful remarks there coming from the President of the University of Liberia. Right about now, we will switch the pendulum over to our traditional chiefs and elders who are spread across the 15 political subdivisions in Liberia, and representing the traditional council of chiefs and elders is none other but Chief Zanzan Kawa. Is the proxy representative from the traditional council of chiefs and elders. Okay, then let's recognize you in absentia. I know the World Bank sent their apologies that they cannot be at this occasion. So similarly, the traditional council was written, but we accept the presence in absentia. At this time, we will switch the pendulum over to the civil society group, and we would invite to the podium the executive director of one of Liberia's major civil society organizations. It's involved with social work as well as electoral work. Eddie Jawola, the executive director of Nimut Pad. I see a representative is coming forward. Let's put our hands together to welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, members, all officials of government, all international partners, members of the Fourth Estate, fellow Liberians. We are excited to be a part of the official launch of the 2021 Census of Liberia. As we may be aware, or we have heard that data collection, and not just data collection, but quality data collection is important. We look forward to an inclusive process where members from civil society and other partners or stakeholders of our country can be included in the conduct of the 2021 Census of Liberia. NAMOT is one of the leading civil society organizations in Liberia that has the capacity and the skills to work across all of the 15 counties, which will fall under our big umbrella organization, the National Civil Society Council of Liberia. We look forward to working with this team to ensure that our census is conducted. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Madam, and you can be assured that Ligius will work with you and all other civil society organizations across the length and breadth of this country. Fact number 6, is that 5, right? So census is the only data collection process where the President, His Excellency, Dr. George WEAH, and his household is the first to be enumerated by the Statistician General in person of Professor Francis Funayine Ray. And the media will witness that on the day. Okay, at this juncture, we will move over to the ambassadorial enclave, where we have our partners and, of course, our friendly organizations who have helped to support us to reaching this far. At this time, we'll call up Ambassador Babatunde Ajisomo, representing the ECOWAS mission in Liberia.
Thank you, Thank you very much, the Director of Ceremony. Your Excellency, Dr. George WEAH, Senior, President of the Republic of Liberia. Officials of government here present, from the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, members of the academia, colleagues in the diplomatic community and friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring you very warm greetings from the Chair of Authority and the President of the ECOWAS Commission, and indeed the ECOWAS community, on this historic exercise that Liberia has commenced with the launch of the 2021 National Census. It is indeed a milestone, considering the importance of national census to our economy, to spatial distribution of age and sex structure, economic characteristics of the population. And the beauty of this exercise, as the Minister of Finance rightly mentioned, is that it's going to be a digitalized exercise, meaning that it is going to be different from previous exercise, which was analog. Everybody will be, and it will be easier to access. It will also going to be satellite-based. It will also go into the cloud. Your Excellency, this is a breakthrough, as very few of our member states have been able to undertake a digital national census. And the significance of this is that it is a roadmap to Liberia undertaking a biometric. A biometric ID card, as the Minister mentioned, is very significant for fighting corruption, for tackling even security challenges. It helps the national census, it helps the election, it helps in many ways for mapping. And this is why we welcome this exercise. At the presence of the Mr. President here, it underscores the significance that the Liberian government attaches to this. We congratulate you, we congratulate the government of Liberia. On the part of ECOWAS, we will not only dedicate our radio, we will also make robust advocacy for this exercise within the region. Allow me to commend the Liberian Queen, Julie Endi, and her crusaders for the excellent job she has been doing in promoting Liberia. And I can see that Julie Endi has an important role to play in this exercise. And we will also take you, as we have been doing to all our member states, so that you continue your good work. Thank you so much, for this opportunity, and we congratulate once again the Liberian government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. At this time, we'll call up the ambassador representing the Embassy of Sweden, and she will speak on behalf of the donors, Ambassador Ingrid Waterves.
Your Excellency, Dr. George WEAH, allow me to stand on existing protocol. I have gotten a very nice written speech with a lot of information, and I think most of it is already said, and you don't need the technicalities. So allow me to speak freely for just a minute. The main objective of this exercise is to provide data And knowledge is power. You know this, Mr. President, you know this, Mr. Finance Minister. Once you have this knowledge, you know where you're starting from, and therefore you will know where you're going, and you will be able to show results, and you will be able to be much more precise in your scarce resources. Huge step forward, and I salute you for taking this decision. I also salute you and FPA as being the main implementer. Job well done. This launch is important. This launch is an event, but I want to underline that it's launching a process, and a process that needs to engage you, all the civil servants in Liberia and the whole population. And you heard them enumerated from the newborns to the oldest. That is the nature of a census. Of the total budget of $19 million, my government is providing 7.8. And we were actually the first donor, partly because I thought that that was necessary. When I previously worked in African countries, we always worked with the statistical agencies in order to lay the foundation for knowing where we're coming from and where we're going. But there are also other contributors, and let me recognize the presence of Ireland, $0.5 million, the World Bank, and of course ECOWAS, the in-kind contribution, which is invaluable in reaching out to people and telling them that there is nothing dangerous in this. On the contrary, it can set you off on a good path. This will fill the data gaps that are needed in Liberia. It will contribute to capacity building of LISTIS, your institution, Mr. Director General. Essential for its success is the political will. It is manifest today. I hope it remains manifest throughout the process until you land it ashore on the beach again. As is government funding, and we noticed the pledge of $3 million, and some more needs to be paid out for this for it to actually fly. I think I heard a sort of promise from you. We recognize that. A biometric ID card combining a variety of registers that you are now spending individually on will most likely make your government budget more effectively used and be more effective for you also to carrying out the various mandates of the various ministries. This includes, of course, a voters registry. Point in case right now, you won't be able to solve it this year, but 2023 is not very far away. So, knowledge is power. You're increasing your power. I wish you good luck. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing this.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. At this time, we just rumbled through the remarks. We'll quickly call up. Let's recognize in absentia the World Bank country manager who sent us his apologies that could not be here. So at this time, we'll call up the one who sits as the resident coordinator, under whose authority all of the other UN agencies operate. Let us call up Mr. Kinslow Poku Amani for brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take the minutes of the representative of the World Bank, if you don't mind. Your Excellency, Dr. George Manawia, President of the Republic of Liberia. Honorable members of the Government of Liberia, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, members of the United Nations country team, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the United Nations family here and elsewhere. And I am gratified for the opportunity to participate in this launch of the 2021 Population and Housing Census by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, which is 5th in a series of population censuses ever conducted in this country. Your Excellency, if you permit me, I will make a personal confession. I have special fondness for that English word called census, and I'll tell you why. That word and the concept of it entered into my life at the age of 5, 6. And I think most of you who are Christians must have also heard about this, or it must have entered into your lives at various times when you were young. It did so in the Sunday school over Christmas. That was the first time I encountered the word census, because the story of Joseph and Mary leaving Nazareth to go to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, at a time when Augustus Caesar, the emperor of Rome, has ordered all the people living on the territory of the empire that they should be counted and identified in the areas where they came from. I think you all remember the story. Because at that time it was peacetime too, and therefore that could be done. The idea of counting people is an idea, and it is the living that he was counting, the living. So it is a celebration of life. The dead were not counted. It was only the living. And therefore it is a form of celebrating the fact that we have overcome all the dangers and the threats and the war that do not permit us to live. The second is that they should be counted where they are in their territory, so that they will be identified. Identity. We're doing so now. And we celebrate identity and the diversity that identity brings along. Then all these facts and the figures we're going to put together will be stored centrally. In those days, it will go to Rome. Today, the United Nations will store it and will share it with all countries. That signifies our common humanity and our common sense of purpose to improve humanity. But I said a personal confession. It's not all these things that I learned later on in my professional career that makes the census of special significance and fondness to me. I said it was Sunday school, and it was over Christmas. And it was repeated almost every year. As a young child, it is the idea that after the Sunday school, we were sumptuously treated with sweets and drinks and food. That probably made it easier for me to understand what this word census simply means. And after church, when we went home over Christmas, we were also treated regally by our parents. I do remember the food that we used to eat, and they were of special significance to us. So in a way, we are embarking on this exercise, which is not only of significance to those that rule us, but it's also important to ourselves. And therefore, I am happy to be here to celebrate that with you. Census generally is the largest peacetime project that the government can undertake. It is not only expensive, it is very involving, requiring the combined efforts of the government, civil society, organizations, private individuals, development partners, universities, young persons, and the most qualified population specialists that can be mobilized. Currently, census undertakings are becoming more scientific, heavily technologically driven, and internationally monitored at every stage from inception to its logical conclusion. The census, when properly conducted, provides data and information for overall national development, planning, program implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. In this connection, a census is the most important tool that governments and development practitioners use to make informed decisions and for allocating and using scarce resources in the most optimum fashion. It is therefore not noteworthy that the exercise is generally conducted once every 10 years, though its results and products are useful for many, many years thereafter. In Liberia, the importance of conducting a census is very well known. The government has a bold development agenda, the Pro-Poor Agenda for Prosperity and Development, which seeks to empower the people through efficient provision of services and lifting them out of poverty. Government is also implementing United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that we have all, as the whole of humanity, has set itself over a period. And government is committed to meet other internationally agreed development benchmarks. The census exercise will therefore be concluded at an opportune time to tie in with working towards actualizing Liberia's national development aspirations. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the government moves down the path to achieving this development milestone, you can count on the UN country team, all of us, to provide moral, financial, logistical, and technical contributions toward the success of the census program. UNFPA is the leading international agency in matters of data related to population and development and interrelationships. We are informed that since September 2015, UNFPA Liberia has been assisting government in developing the current census project, providing technical expertise, building partnerships, and contributing other needed resources. Led by the UNFPA, as the country team stands ready to assist the government and people of Liberia in this venture. In addition, the country team has a data for development group, a data think tank comprising all relevant UN agencies that will, at various times, provide technical contributions to the project. In this vein, our agencies in Liberia will avail themselves and work with government, civil society, and international organizations to strive to accomplish the pursuit of delivering a credible census that will be nationally and internationally acceptable, and by extension for the development of the nation by providing the tool for addressing the critical population issues of Liberia's development. By our concerted efforts, we will directly be seizing a unique and unprecedented opportunity to concretize the foundations of peace building, peace consolidation, that can make a transformative difference in the lives of all Liberians, especially our young people, our children, women, girls, physically challenged and aged persons, and urban and rural peoples, as well as contribute to the achievement of all the goals of the SDGs. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, please note that government cannot do it alone. It requires the support of the UN, development partners, civil society organizations, friendly governments, and private sector, and we are happy that they are all here in the team supporting. But with all my strength, let me call for the cooperation of the general public in all facets of the field work by complying with the legal provisions of the Statistics Act and the Census Act. This will be very beneficial to the implementation of the census program for the good of every citizen and every one resident in Liberia. As we collectively mark the achievement of this important benchmark, let me congratulate the government of Liberia and UNFPA Liberia on this occasion and wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Money, for those remarks representing all of the UN agencies that are supporting the census, the National Population and Housing Census. To close up on brief remarks, we will at this time call up an eminent citizen of Liberia. He served as former Minister of Planning and Economic Affairs, and currently he works with Serving Africa. He works with a group called SAFE that is geared towards ensuring that COVID is eradicated from Africa and the rest of the world. Let us call up Dr. Topa Na Tipote, who will come and make those remarks.
A problem. We are here to launch the National Census 2021. Does it help to solve any problem? We, as eminent citizens, are here to say, yes. How does this work? The most So education can be based on our culture, and we can be in better health conditions. So this is where we are. And we who are so-called eminent citizens have a challenge now to come and demonstrate what our eminence is. And we must demonstrate that by supporting LISCIS, the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, rally support here and abroad to say that this will help us to know more about ourselves, and on the basis of that, we're in a better position to solve our problems. Having said this, and in thank you to our government and people of Liberia through the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services. Thank you very much for what you're doing. Excuse me. Thank you very much for what you're doing, and to say that this is of enormous importance because it helps us to solve problems we're faced with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tipute, for those remarks. Ever since Census was founded in 2004, July 22nd, statistics became a reality through the hard-earned efforts of people who started this whole vision. And in a special way, they've chosen, we've had the longest serving Director General, who the current predeceased, and today he's chosen off his business schedule to come and share with us. It's a feather in our court to officially recognize. I'm too small because I work under his administration. The current boss will definitely give him the flowers deserving, but would like to, in this public manner, recognize the efforts of the people who had laid the foundations to have statistics to where it is today. We'd like to recognize the presence of Dr. T. Edward Liberty, a very seasoned statistician. And of course, we appreciate your presence here today. It means a whole lot to us, even as we go towards conducting Liberia's first digital census. Thank you. At this juncture, we'd like to call up the band to do a cultural performance, after which we will have the Chief of Protocol come and lead us through the next phase of this very important program.
to this story. When our president was playing football, we used to organize and go to the airport to meet him. When we go to the airport, he had no bodyguard, no security. If you put here in your pocket, you get all the money. The president will happy, oh, he's president. But the security said January, no cultural dancing, no pain. Then I say, Papi, Papi, don't get to nobody, just tell Fina to us. Time for census, you need to stand up and be ready so they can count you. You have to know where to put a hospital in your country. You can't put a hospital where you got a population of 50%. So the census will tell us where we can put hospital, where we can put school. And I always say, yeah. Every 10 years, we're supposed to make sure we have census. So we'll come and have census in 2021. It will take us 1 year when the result come out, and you know our population growing. The last time the population was 1.1, 1.5, 2.1. Then it come to 3.5. I think we'll go up small. Together we can make it. We want to thank LEGIS, the UNFPA, the government of Liberia for bringing about this exercise. Let us stand on Liberian people and be counted.
and her team. Put your hands together. I think you deserve another round of applause for that very spectacular dramatization. I think you've won your place already when it comes to the census, and we quite understand that. Okay, at this juncture, we will call up the Chief Statistician General of the Republic of Liberia, the man on whose shoulders the burden of conducting the first digitized census rests, and he will be presenting to us a technical presentation, if you may, on the overview of the census, cataloging where we've come from to where we are at the moment. And he will be closely assisted by the Chief Technical Advisor from the United Nations Fund for Public Activities, Mr. Ibrahim Cisse. So jointly, they will do a technical presentation in a few minutes. Without much ado, let's call up the Director General of NIST, Professor Francis Funengine Rare, to make this technical presentation.
President of the Republic of Nigeria, the Director General and members of the Cabinet, our partners in progress, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, fourth estate, student group, market group, youth group, civil society organizations, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to go through this presentation. We have an outline. The first thing is an overview. Key project milestones and progress achieved with government's legal obligations and so forth. Key project milestones and progress achieved UNFPA programmatic obligations, cover the project, foreign sources and gaps. This will conclude with everyone. Nigeria currently stands at a major crossroads of reconstruction, peace building, and development. Those things that put on a crossroads include the post-14 years conflict, post-Ebola outbreak, severely reduced public fiscal space, high donor dependence, obsolete census databases, and data infrastructure to support overall national development process. The government of Nigeria has a development agenda, PADP that is, a pro agenda for prosperity and development that puts the Liberian people at the center of all development programs. But in order for basic social services to be guaranteed to the citizens, the availability of timely, reliable, sufficient, and relevant data is key. Census is the most important national database assigned by this Department for National Development Planning, Program Implementation, NFP, and its monitoring and evaluation. Census is the complete process of collection, management, analysis, reporting, publication, dissemination, archiving of data, and information collected from all persons at a specified time or times, living within or delimited territory, the being characteristics of the census are given the scientific, periodicity, simultaneity, individual duration. Next slide, please. This is a fifth modern census we had in Nigeria after 1962, 1974, 1984, and 2008. The University of 2018 Census and 2018 DHS coincide, placing a huge responsibility on the DHS and UNFPA to deliver on both activities. The DHS was prioritized in the nearing completion with the key individual report published. That is, DHS marked two main activities. We had a census content and several Nigerian demographic and health survey, but the demographic and health survey is nearing completion and only produce the key activities, indicators that we have to produce. The census is still outstanding. These are two surveys, the census and survey are granted. And you must know how tedious the process is. But we support it, we overcame it. 2021 census will be the first to use the data technology at offices of preparation. Cartographic planning, data management, processing, tabulation, publication, dissemination, and archiving. The census program experienced significant delays due to late and inaccurate funding. COVID-19 forced the hot to field activities in further delay implementation of the census calendar. Key project milestones and progress, government's legal obligation, and so forth. The census was scheduled for 2018, and for this reason, the former president of Nigeria, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, signed a proclamation in 2016. Both houses of parliament voted 84% in favor of the census in April and May 2017. President of Nigeria, the current president of Nigeria, Dr. Joy Mania, commissioned the census commission, conducted a census commission in December 2018. The government UFA set up the census budget fund managed by UNFPA in February 2019. The government of Nigeria, based on the initial contribution of 700,000 United States to the census basket fund, plus 48 million LD, with this an equivalent of 300,000 to match the 700,000 will become 1 million at English in May 2019. The government of Nigeria provides offices in Lagos for census implementation unit. That is, the people that will be implementing census, both UNFPA and staff at Lagos. Government thinks of its contribution at 3 billion or 15.9% in 7 October 2019. The Nigeria meeting of census commissioners 4th October 2019, that was presided over by the census, the chairman of the census commission, the board of chairman of the board of directors, the minister of finance and government planning, Sandra Tuwe. The government regularly signed census project on 8th October 2013. For the government, the minister of finance and government planning and the chairman of the census commission signed for the government, and the UNFPA resident representative signed for the partners. General Representative of both houses of the Lagos set a new date for census 9 and it should be 7 March 2021. But that resolution was signed in July 2020. With this development, the Ministry of Health allowed restart of census fee activities and issues as COVID-19 started operating material died in August 2020, giving us a free hand to go on the field and do what we are supposed to do, as other leaders have said. Before I call upon the UNFPA, Mr. Census, I want to make a special recognition as initiated by the chief of the MC. Dr. T. Edward Liberty is the founding member, he's the founding director general for NAMIS. We need to, Dr. Liberty, please stand, let me go give because he taught us at the University of Liberia. And so when we went there, he took us to his students and he was teaching us. So whatever we are going today, our foundation is based on what he did. In my capacity as Director General of Statistics at the Directorate of Statistics and Information Services, you are appointed to lead a team of census and subject matter experts. The team in design the questionnaire and other instruments related to the 2021 National Public Housing Census. We will shortly invite you so that we can organize the team to move ahead. Mr. Andrew Akwe Telewaya. This young man is the National Census Coordinator. We have Mr. Boama Soni, he's the Deputy Census Coordinator. Mrs. Maria Kwe Delegene, Deputy Director General of Administration. Mr. Rawatwe is now acting as the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing. And Mr. William F. Smith, the all-round footballer, is here as Deputy for Information and Coordination. Mr. Tisse, where are you?
Thank you very much, Director General. So what the Director General started is just for you to know that we have this partnership going. He could have actually presented the whole thing, but it's for you to know that this is a partnership, we work together. That's why he wanted us to do it in bits and pieces. Actually, this is a rundown of obligations that UNFPA was to lead. But in doing this, government was on board. Because for us to get anything cleared in New York, we need authority from government. So they will write and ask us before we ask our bosses, before it's clear. There is nothing here for UNFPA that government of Nigeria was not also contributing to. We've been working together and we continue to do like that. We started doing some advocacy in 2015, and then we tried to mobilize West and Central Africa Regional Office of UNFPA in Dakar, because we need them at all times. It's our immediate reporting spot. And then we reach out to UNFPA Technical Division. This is a highly technical job, so at the end of the day, we need expertise sitting in New York. If we cannot source the expertise here, they can easily get them to us from other regions. And also, we got our Procurement Services Bureau. The country office had to do all of those, because these three organs of UNFPA are key for you to move very fast. We have over 200 countries in the world, and at any one time, as we are speaking now in the round of census, you're getting close to about 120, 130 countries doing it. So you need to be there, and you make them to get an IDWG, Interdepartmental Working Group. We already formed that for Liberia, and that is one thing that is actually doing us a speed. The concept was prepared in 2015, and then we got this proclamation that came in December 2016, which actually started to make people know that something was happening. Then, as a result of that, Liz and UNFPA went around the country to see how ready was Liberia to hold a census. The fortunate thing about Liberia, and this is really coincidental, it's difficult to get the chief technical advisor of one census being the chief technical advisor of the very next census. You can't have the same people falling over. But in Liberia here, we have the luck that I was a technical advisor in 2008, and now I'm here again for this one. So there's institutional memory. In 2008, we had to rely on unmanned helicopter landing things and what have you. I'm happy that Dr. Albati is here. We went through all of that. It was a very difficult census. Today, the government has opened up the country. we can go by road. So things are more cheaper to do. You see? At that time, it was difficult coming out of war, and the roads were cut. So today, this census is going to be a little less difficult for us because we have some infrastructure in place that will help us. So the 2017 was to see where we can get warehousing, where we can have depots for filling stations that we can talk to the people so that they stop for us fear for government of Liberia operations during the census. We've gone around, we've done that. We've identified the big schools in the country, went to all of them, every county. We have a memorandum of understanding. So we went there in 2019. Because the UNFPA will not allow you to use data more than 2 years for planning. So in 2019, we went there again to verify. But unfortunately, we now come into 2020. So we have to go again, and we are going in October, November, to verify that those resources, the warehouses, the school spaces are still available, because they will help us to run this thing very fast. And the next thing was we got the zero draft for the project document. It became an advocacy tool, which we have been using. And the PSB, Procurement Services Bureau, buys things for the entire UN system. It gives comparative advantage. The UN is about the largest buyer of anything you can think of. So the prices are much less. So they had a mission to Monrovia for this census. They came here, we sat for the whole week, and the plan was drawn up. As we speak, in COVID-19, our vehicles came, our computers have come, our tablets are here. It's unimaginable. COVID-19 supply chain stopped, and yes, Liberia was going to assemble those things. So this is why we want to pick the calendar. We want to make some record. Let it be written that a country can do census in 3 years. And when that happens, let one country put its hand up that they did it in 3 years. Liberia will be a proud candidate that time. We're working towards that. So we have this one done, and Procurement Services Bureau are helping us. And then we started training because we foresaw it. It's the job of UNFPA. We send people to United States Census Bureau. Several times, Liberians have done that. We've sent them around Africa in various training areas. ECA, Addis Ababa. They've gone to Europe. In 2015, Liberia started using tablets in surveys. We wanted critical national capacity at that level, because that's the nucleus. And so we have people who know already how to operate these things. So in 2015, we started in Liberia. At that time, very few African countries were using electronics to connect people. So we are not going into uncharted waters. We already have national expertise. And then, apart from that, in 2018, we got a standby generator because of the problems of electricity. And now, what we are doing is that we're even trying to get this. We are at the end of buying the transformer for LEC so that that area of Monrovia will get uninterrupted power supply for this to function. So in 2018, we got a retreat from Monrovia. We were tired of seeing each other in UNFPA and in this business. We went to Buchanan. We sat down there and planned very well. And we are happy that the Minister of Finance sent his people there. We were there for the whole week. We came out of that retreat with another milestone, with major documents laid out so that we can finalize them for this particular thing. And in 2019, we had the same retreat again in Monrovia. So, still continuing with what has been happening, we now have internal controls for our vehicles. For census vehicles, when the driver goes somewhere and the tank opens, the Director General and myself and Maria will be sitting in Monrovia, then there will be an alert. The tank has been opened. 15 gallons was put inside. So if you come to us and our check is saying it's 20 gallons we have to collect, we'll ask you for the 5 gallons. But again, if you're not supposed to do anything and the computer tells us that 5 gallons was taken out, you will account for it. If the vehicle is moving and the vehicle is going above regulated speed, the computer will alert us. So we'll take up the phone and call that driver. You're going above 55 miles per hour, drop your speed. You are not allowed. We don't want any accident in this thing. We want to be as safe as possible. So another thing is, because it's possible for vehicles to disappear. When the driver sits before the car, the same key, he is driving it. I take it from here, I put it in, the car doesn't start. The car doesn't know me. But the moment he sits before the car will start. So we have a software that makes sure that one car, one driver. That makes sure the car doesn't disappear and fizzle out in the beginning of the It also makes sure that unauthorized persons cannot drive those cars. This is all the control we are putting in place. And we pay for all of that. We have companies that are doing that for us. Then we wanted to know what is this thing about this digital census. We've been reading, we have our experience. We went to Kenya. We saw what they did. A partial digital census. We saw where it stumbled and fell. We have come and we are at the back. So in the dark, when you go to that mode, I'll change my course. So where it stumbled and fell, Liberia has corrected. Most of the errors they have, we will never have. We started training for MAPA to go to the field in February. Had it not been COVID-19, Liberia would have been in the field in April. This occasion was going to be held by His Excellency George Manuel Weah in late March. Census project document signed in October 8th. By March, a developing country was on its way to go to the field. Let one country raise its hand to tell me they can do that. Liberia did. So we have recruited all the national staff and international expertise. They are in Monrovia here. There are a few of the recruitment national staff that we need to do, one or two, but because of restrictions of accessing UN building, they still need to go through the medical checkup and this and that. We have renovated Lisbith's offices, and we've done it, and we are setting up a lab for them. The GIS lab, the data lab, all of that has been completed. And we now bringing to Lisbith Google Cloud Platform Facility. Google Cloud Platform Facility is used only by 3 countries in Africa. So Lisbith should be using it fully, all our data from there, and then we'll be one of the pioneer states in Africa. The second thing is, next slide please. The second thing is that we will be using satellite imaging. Apart from South Africa, perhaps, that has its own satellite. I don't know of any African country that has the complete set of satellite imaging that covers every square inch of its land area. I can put my hand up for Liberia. I want to see another hand. I don't think it's there. They are here. We are not saying they will come. Lisbith is working with them now here. And Lisbith's technicians are now ahead of the rest of Africa because they are using digital technology at that level. So with all of these things, what you can talk about is that the exercise is expensive. This is the layout of the amount of money that has been pledged and what we have received and what we are expecting, and see we have budget gap. So we are calling on everybody. This is an advocacy situation for us to help the government with the rest of the resources so that we can get there. At this point, I call upon my colleague to wrap up with the last slides. Thank you very much.
Census 2021 project just concluded his presentation and over to the Prof. Francis, where he is the Director General of WEAH. He is supposed to conclude this presentation.
Okay. His Excellency Dr. George Manuel, members of the cabinet, fellow well-wishers, we want to conclude to make this oral appeal. UNFPA delegates have worked hard to prepare the country to reach this stage, and we are about to start filling the honors. As all Liberians and foreign residents So we are saying that our plea is for everyone to support us on the Liberia, the first country ever to achieve this feat. The situations of the COVID-19 pandemic, let me say, Census is too important to fail, and together we are making it happen. Shape your future, be confident. Thanks for your attention.
Has concluded the European technical presentation of the Nigeria Census 2021 project. As we stated earlier, the chief executive official launch of the National Population Housing Census 2021 project is being held under the theme Nigeria Census 2021. The council takes place at the Grand Theatre, Ministry of Public here in Conductor, dignitaries here with the Housing U.S. counties and the Council community stakeholders. This is very important. This for all Liberians. It's very important. So I hope that you have listened and continue to listen to what's obtaining here at the Ministry of Congress here in Canada, the Chief of Police.
The acting dean and members of the cabinet, members of the diplomatic corps and consular corps, the United Nations resident coordinator, and the United Nations family, Mr. Director General and staff, and members of the Board of Directors of WEAH, official of government present, our development partner, civil society groups, students and youth representative, our cultural ambassador and performers, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to introduce and invite for a special statement and the official launch His Excellency Dr. George Mane WEAH, President of the Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you. Let me start by recognizing again the presence of Dr. Liberty, what is interesting to know that is the founding Director General of the WEAH. Dr. Liberty, from now on, in our next government official holiday, we will honor you as a doctor of Census. You will be honored as doctor of Census in the Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Today, the government and people of Nigeria achieved a key milestone in our development aspiration by officially launching the 2021 National Population Housing Census, the NPHC project. The NPHC project will enable government through the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, villages, to go to each and every household and count the people throughout Liberia. This will make us know how many people are in the country, how many are women, men, children, young people, and old people. Where do they live? How well are they living? How many are educated? And what do they do for a living? Etc. It will enable government to plan well and deliver services to our people wherever they are. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the diplomatic corps, elders and students, I want to take this time to thank you all for having an important instrument this time. I've been called upon by legislators and this board of directors and census commissioners to officially launch the 2021 National Population and Housing Census. I must say that I'm very happy to perform this function on behalf of the government and the people of Liberia in order to create the necessary awareness in all our citizens that officials' engagement with the population for the census activities is about to begin. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very early after we took office, the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, government recognized the need for our shared national development aspirations to be captured in the formal national development framework. Therefore, in 2018, our government developed a national strategy called the Pro-Poor Agenda for Prosperity and Development, the PAPD, in order to guide our drive towards the growth, development, and prosperity that will lead ultimately to a sustained national development trajectory. The PAPD upholds our national development agenda firmly on the foundations of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It puts the Liberian people at the center of all development processes and help us to reach the fullness behind first and leave no one behind. As the national development processes ensure. By so doing, it is our hope that by 2023, we will see a reduction in the proportions of our people living below the poverty line. To support the nation's development efforts, timely, relevant, sufficient, and reliable data set are required. And the major foundation of this is the census. The census is usually the largest peacetime undertaking of the government because it is very involving and costly. The census is normally conducted only once every 10 years. But its products and tools could be used for over a decade. Census information has a direct impact on service delivery for our people at the grassroots level because statistics are important for planning
development programs. If you cannot measure accurately, then you will not be able to manage the fair distribution of resources and delivery of services. To address poverty effectively, we must use targeted interventions that can be measured and consult the people about their own development. It is therefore crucial that we mobilize the entire population to come forward and be counted, so that the result of Census 2021 can be used as a tool to improve service delivery. After the census, we will have accurate data for the formulations of policy as well as implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. The result from the census will provide us with a unique opportunity to realign our development strategies, policies, and programs. In Liberia, the conduct of the census is guided by the constitutional provision that mandates the executive branch of government to undertake the exercise. Since it is not every government that will conduct a census, this will be part of my legacy to my people and country. In addition to fulfilling this crucial constitutional requirement, the crux of our commitment on this issue is to ensure that development is equitable and in the public interest. I therefore urge everyone to fully cooperate with this exercise, as it is for the general good. In the coming weeks, I am told legislators will embark on a massive public awareness exercise in order to educate the people on why the population census is necessary. It is important to know that your community benefits most when you are counted, because the data collected can inform how the government, businesses, and NGOs distribute their services and products. Ladies and gentlemen, undertaking such a huge national exercise needs a considerable amount of technical, financial, and logistical resources. At this time of our development, with a pandemic looming large, government cannot provide all the necessary inputs, but we have tried to make the census program happen by doing whatever we can to facilitate the implementation process. In December 2018, I formally constituted and inducted the Census Commissioner into office. Prior to the time, this body had not met regularly for more than 2 years. Shortly thereafter, in May 2019, my government pledged $3 million towards the census budget and provided $700,000 plus $48 million Liberian dollar as seed money to set up a census basket. Census basket fund to be managed by United Nations Population Fund. In support of these efforts, We received further contributions to our Census basket fund for several of our international partners. The government and people of Sweden, through their embassy near Monrovia, was the first and remained the highest contributor to the census budget by making million to the census program, the government, the people of Ireland, through the embassy near Monrovia, has donated 500,000 euros to the census basket. Edward Radio will also lend assistance to the census with advocacy and sensitizations of the population. The United Nations Population Fund, as the lead international agency on population data and statistics, is organizing the Liberia Census Program in conjunction with legislators by providing technical, financial, logistical support to the process. Through their instrumentality, the 2021 Liberian census will be the first all-electronic census to be done anywhere in the sub-Saharan Africa. The census operations will use computers, laptops, tablets, modules, satellites, imagery, and cloud computing. There are other development partners that have expressed interest in contributing to the census. We welcome each and every contribution, and there is the water gap that needs to be addressed. On behalf of the government and people of Liberia, I would like to express our sincere thanks and appreciation for the support we have received and are continuing to receive from all of our international partners. This venture would not have been possible without their support. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will be remiss in my duties today if I fail to recognize the efforts of ladies and their able staff who are responsible for the statistics on this major government development initiative. You are working in close collaboration with experts for the international community to deliver one of the first truly modern censuses any developing country can conduct around this time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Legislative Board of Directors and Commissioners for assigning me this task of launching the census program in Liberia. And it is now my distinct pleasure to declare the official launch of the 2021 Liberia National Population and Housing Census. The census program implementation will now proceed in a full swing across Liberia. My fellow Liberians, be counted and shape your future. Long live the people of Liberia. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Housing, Liberia National Housing and Population Census 2021 project. Liberia Census 2021, the counties.
Dr. George Manawia, President of the Republic of Liberia for those remarks. At this time, as we bring this occasion to a close, we would like to call up the President of the Census, the National Census Coordinator, the person of Mr. Andrew Tellaway, to come and give us our vote of thanks, followed by announcements and benediction.
Dr. George Manawia, the People's President, members of the high table, distinguished girls, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the beginning of the end of the absence of data to monitor degrees for the weeks of 11 days policy making. Thank you very much. On behalf of the technicians and listeners, and also our colleagues at UNFPA, we come this morning or this afternoon to extend to you our most sincere gratitude, and also to express our undiminished confidence that hereafter the products of the census will be used for development planning. That's the only way any country can succeed. Thank you for coming today, Mr. President, members of the cabinet, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're proud today, and we want to say thank you and thanks for the launch of the census. As statisticians, we are prepared to work. We are prepared to have seamless life in the course of our country. On behalf of listeners again, through the Director General, Professor Francis Wright, I'd like to say thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless Liberia. Wish to announce that His Excellency the President, along with the panel guests and cabinet ministers, will proceed for the presentation of the vehicles and motorcycles to the government of the Republic of Liberia by UNFPA. After which, everyone will proceed to the dining halls for lunch. Thank you.
Liberia, sweet land of liberty, we prophesied to you, you would rise, you would shine, you would prosper, you would be proud.
Our ceremony of equals to the Global Liberia partners to conduct our 2021 census is going to take place. So we are in a lift now. Just keep tuned. We're going to give you a visual display about as it relates to the 10th oil ceremony of equals to the Global Liberia. Oh, well, that's it for that.
Okay, right here.
Sensor. When you get the car can send the hospital after the sensor. They say you will take it out. Sometimes when you do the campaign, they say no car. Everybody feel that the car will not be on the road. That's why for the sensor,
That's just